Thank you.
There we go.
There we go.
Hello,
Thank you.
can everybody see um, the web page for the foundation?
Yes.
Okay, I not going to be, well, shouldn't probably short sell myself and say I'm going to be completely unimaginative and walk through some of the information that's on the website. And before I do, I'll be the first to admit, yes, our website is looking pretty tired. It needs a makeover. And that is something that the communications committee at the foundation is taking a look at. I think we could try and sell this as being snazzy and say it kind of has a retro look, but I think it right now it does look a little bit tired. It does look very early web, but it has all the information that you need to proceed with writing a grant. And I'm looking at all these experienced, knowledgeable people here on the webinar. I'm not. I think I am going to be telling you things that you know, but maybe just giving you some thoughts as to how to spread the information with your club members. It's the foundation has uh, realigned some of its grant programs to help clubs and communities meet their needs. And two of the newer grant programs were the environmental health and the outreach program. And 2 years ago, when they were being rolled out, really strong uptake. The second year, uh, they were somewhat undersubscribed. So I have to tell you, there are opportunities out there to to be successful grant applicants. I know sometimes, and I think it is a problem for some of the clubs, like with not having enough hands, the capacity to run with programs. But for clubs that have an idea um, that there's a community need that they can work with partners and do something, the opportunity is really there. I know last round we had budgeted 35,000 for the outreach grants. Recognizing that a lot of clubs want to do something on um, the food insecurity and poverty agenda. Particularly if it's something that can support children in their community that are part of struggling families. And we were surprised that even though we budgeted 35,000, and we're talking about three districts applying for grants, there was $12,500 still on the table. We were expecting to have a competitive process where we might have to make some tough decisions, but we were our the submissions were actually less than the budget amount for the outreach grants, which surprised us because we know that everybody's communities are certainly facing similar issues, with respect to food insecurity and homelessness. So when I just walk through the web pages or the web page here, and some of this stuff might seem familiar, it is a very simple process. I think sometimes people hear the word grant application, and perhaps through their work, they've had to apply for a grant from a government ministry, and it was like completing a a university thesis, lots of evidence, scads of documentation. We're really looking at a very streamlined process when we apply for these grants, whether it's the environmental grant, whether it's the outreach grant, but both the environmental grant and the community outreach grant for all three districts. There they were both under what we had budgeted for clubs, and so we would like to see more of a response, and maybe it's just awareness, maybe it's a capacity issue, but as a foundation, I know that we're interested in hearing how we can support clubs. We really think that we have a streamlined process, but after I show you a couple of the forms, you can you can tell me if you think there's anything that we could do to make it easier. I've told you we are going to enhance our website, and maybe make it a little bit more user friendly. So let's let's just take a look here, and if you navigate to the website and go to programs, let's just take a look at the environmental health grant. And Joanne said you would like me to demystify the program application process. So I can tell you there are a couple of things that are critical elements for applying for a foundation grant. One of them, of course, to be eligible, you have to have that voluntary donation of $15 a member. I have to say something that's really wonderful. I think many clubs recognize what the foundation enables across all of our district, and we do get many donations that are over the $15 per member minimum. But if you want to be eligible to apply for these grant programs, that's linked to your eligibility. So the environmental health grant is one of our matching grants, and if you scroll down there, you can see that there are matching funds available for $3,000. Now, when this particular grant has a due deadline, and I'm going to send Joanne. I think, have all of you seen the quick reference chart for our grants? Has all of our grants listed. I'll share screen and show you that document as well. It's really handy. Walks you through what the grant is focused on, what the application deadline is, and what the grant conditions are.
And Ken, I did include that in the reminder email that people would have received. There was a link to it, to a PDF document. I did search the website, and I couldn't find it anywhere on the website for some reason.
Thank you for mentioning that, Joanne. I actually searched the website shortly before. A few weeks ago, it was on there, and there was some editing that took place. I think before maybe the little bit of a cleanup before the website gets its makeover. And much to my surprise, the link for the reference sheet isn't currently on the website. We're having a communications meeting, the foundation, next couple of weeks, and again, I'll find out if that was intentional, there's part of some broader strategy, or just an oversight. In any event, do all of you get the newsletter from the foundation? Yeah, because there will always be a link to that resource at the end of the newsletter. But what I think is important to look at, if in this specific grant has a application deadline, you need to pay the $15, get your application in before the deadline, if one is specified, and there is one specified for the matching scholarship grant, the environmental health one, and the outreach one, and submit your application. Once the grant is reviewed, one of the things that we did have a discussion. You can start working on it. The report that we'll be expecting, if you got a grant approved in say you were notified that you were approved for an environmental health grant in at the beginning of June, you could start working on that. As far as the foundation is concerned, that grant is part of the next budget year. But we're comfortable with you incurring costs before the beginning of the Kiwanis year. So you could start working on that grant, that environmental health or outreach project uh, before September 2026, but your report wouldn't really be due until the end of that Kiwanis year, which would be September 26 to um, or actually, I guess starting October 26 to the end of September 2027. So we give you a couple of months of flexibility. Um, it it would be budgeted for the upcoming year, but if as Kiwanis clubs, if you want to get going on a project, you can start working on it immediately after the grant is approved, and all that timeline information is on that quick reference chart. So let's just take a look at an application form. Can everybody see this? So you can see
Yeah.
this is unlike applying to the Ministry of Culture and Heritage with a 20-page form. It's a one-page form. Um, the contact information for your club and a brief. And you can see how much room you have. Uh, a brief description of your project. So if you tell us exactly what it's about, I can tell you that the grants committee is looking at a couple of things. What really gets you the most traction is a project that of course is focused on Kiwanis aims, improving the lives of children. So it's child youth impactful, and there are community partners involved, and that you're you're having members of your Kiwanis Club actively engaged in the project. So those elements are going to get you a lot of traction. We're we're really not looking at probably giving as much focus to projects where there's we're funding another party to do something. So we don't really want these grants to be flow throughs. What we're looking for is, again, the focus on children, working with community partners, and having Kiwanians actively involved. If you tell that story in your 2 or 3 sentence description, you'll be off to the races. And like I was implying, right now, for some of our grant streams, we're receiving less requests than we've actually have budgeted funds for. So though that's really the major thing. All of these. Let me just go back. So back to the website. Uh, you you're really, like I said, looking at those three things. I think with the exception being the youth grant. Let me just see, right. The youth grant. Yes, the organized youth grant. If your club has supported another organization, say a Boys and Girls Club. It's not a matching grant, but if you have made $1,000 to an organization in your community, like the Navy League, like the Boys and Girls Club, you are eligible with documentation to apply for a $500 grant to support that youth program. It's kind of like a top up. It's not really a match, but that is a grant opportunity where you actually are passing money on to another organization, but presumably it is one that you're involved with and have some engagement with. Um, Now, there's a whole list of programs here, and a happy problem for us to have recently is, the club building grant. And I know that I did talk at the time when we had our district convention here in Thunder Bay to the president of the newly formed Neepawa Club. So I I hope that a successful grant application. My understanding was that money was uh, the sponsoring club in Brandon and the club in Neepawa were both aware that that was an opportunity. Oh, I'm just going to look in the chat here. Yeah, the funding for security, a good question, or for food security, that would be probably most likely addressed with the outreach grant.
So Ken, before you look at that, I did ask Sheila, because she's on here. I said to her and Reg, did your club get $500? And did Neepawa get $1,500? And she said yes. But I drew to her attention because there's a number 4 point down there. So it is now for Neepawa Club. It is the start of their second year.
Yeah.
I know as district secretary that after their charter in April, they added 4 new members to their club. And so according to, well, it's gone all sideways, Ken, but according to to what it says there, at the start of their second year, they can get $100 to their service account for every new member above charter strength. So
Yes.
my question was, how uh, does the club apply for that? Because that was unclear. Do I, as a district secretary, reach out and say, hey, did you know? Or does that club make that request of the foundation?
The I'm getting a message here that the free meeting has ended. Is that
This is not a free meeting. We pay a lot.
ah okay. So
Anyway.
sorry, I'm having some technical difficulty
Okay,
getting
yes,
this in. But
because
you
you're
but you can see, what do you see on your screens now? Maybe
it
I'll just
we
stop
see
my share.
that, but it's sideways. But if you stop sharing, I could pull that up and I could share it.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I don't know
the
why.
short answer,
Oops.
Joanne, is that the club should probably bring that to the foundation's
Okay.
attendance, but we would be we would be open to receiving that information by any channel. But the club could contact the foundation office
Okay.
directly.
Let me just sorry, I just have to get into thingy.
It's probably operator error at my
No, I don't know. Who knows? Nobody else has got that message, have they? I have not, anyways. New window. KFC.
Oh, I know that you were asking me, do new clubs have to pay the $15 to be eligible for grant programs? There is nothing on the books that describes a exemption or says that yeah, no, new clubs do not have to pay that for the first year. But I like I said, I wasn't aware of anything. I've never seen anything written down like that. But when I asked my foundation colleagues who have been around a lot longer than I have, just to make sure that yeah, I wasn't aware of an exemption. They all seem very sympathetic that this is something that maybe that we should look at. So I'd say not officially, not currently, to your the question that you asked me, Joanne, about new
Okay.
clubs having to pay the $15. Currently, there's nothing there's no stated objection, but it sounds like it's something the board would be willing to look at, given that it's likely. It's a nice problem to have, helping new clubs. Recognize that new clubs starting up probably do have some cash flow issues. I think it's something that the board would consider. Just to ask people here, is that something that you would like us to take a look at as a board to support new clubs?
Certainly worth it.
So are you saying waive that for the first year?
Well,
Yeah, it's not on the books right now. It currently isn't an exemption, but when talking to people and that, like I said, just making sure that there wasn't some historical practice that I wasn't aware of. People tended to say, instead of just saying no, they said, "Gee, that sounds like a way that we might
well,
support
or
clubs."
an exemption, they get that money. They didn't have to pay $15, whatever, when they charter, right? And so they've got something to work with. But a club that, they just started in April, now they're, that one, and now it's the fall and they're paying, full dues and all of those things. They're doing all sorts of fundraising and good stuff. They might not want to apply, but wouldn't it be a nice extra little perk for them if for the first full year of your club after charter, you can apply for the grants without
So
making that donation, but after that, you're expected to be.
yeah, the exact timing of that, when would that year of exemption apply? Is it during the Kiwanis year? Is it a full calendar year or what? I'll, I, I can take that back to the board to take a look at, but like giving some relief for brand new clubs,
Mhm.
it does seem like it would be supportive.
Mhm.
Okay,
I certainly be in
that's nice
favor
to
of that
hear.
happening, yes.
Yeah,
And of course, we have a second new club, right? So
yeah, I know that's fantastic.
who have just added two more members to their club. Interestingly enough, the two new members have been added, Tracy. The charter members are not in the system yet. So I'll be following up on that tomorrow, but there is
Oh, okay.
now a Leduc club listed in
Yes, they
our
have a
listing
number.
now.
Yep, they
Okay.
have a number. So do I need to call Renee Booker or you're
I'm going to reach out to Renee. I have a few other questions
okay?
for her.
Perfect.
Oh, just can I just throw
Sorry,
in
Ken.
a couple
What
of
would you like to
random?
look at now? I'll
Oh,
be your Vanna.
if you could probably take. Oh, you know what? Do you want to just bring up the Caribbean relief on the homepage, please? If you go up to Caribbean Relief Fund for Jamaica. Um, oh, okay. I think there's another that it does go right to Canada Helps. Um, just that this campaign is continuing on. I did see something on the news the other night about yeah, if you scroll down
It might be
and
down here. There's
yeah,
the
There you
letter.
go.
Do you
Mhm.
yeah,
want more?
yeah, that the details are there. There's a 3-to-1 match. The foundation will match up to or will contribute up to $200,000 as part of this 3-to-1 match. Apparently, the devastation in Jamaica is absolutely unimaginable, and there's a foundation committee that's overseeing how where the funds are directed towards to make sure that they're being aimed at infrastructure rebuilds that are going to have impact on the lives of children. I guess a lot of infrastructure damage, particularly medical facilities and schools. So this is something that, there's a history in Western Canada of supporting these sorts of efforts. Jamaica is part of EC&C, Eastern Canada, and the Caribbean. So this is an ongoing campaign that the foundation will be working on as the rebuild in Jamaica takes place. So if your members were willing to take a look at that, that would be terrific if they care to donate to that relief fund, and the foundation, like I said, would match on a 3-to-1 basis. So the foundation would kick in a dollar for every $3 that's donated, whether it's an individual or a club.
How is that fund doing right now? Ken, do you have any idea?
I'm actually going to be hearing how they're doing in the next week or two. We
Okay.
touched base with the board last week, and I think that there'll be some preliminary numbers and what that'll be shared on the newsletter. But they didn't have that update for me when we met last week.
And I know in the member newsletter, I did put that in there, but you had shared with us at the district board meeting that the priority is going to be on getting kids back in education, like you're saying, their books, their computers, all their equipment, if their school is still there, everything was, so water damaged that it has to all be replaced. And so that would be a real priority. So I think I put that in the little plea in the newsletter.
Yeah.
Ken, did you have any examples of like a success, like what like a written grant application might look like that was submitted by a club?
Oh, you know what? I don't have a completed one
Okay.
with me, but what I think I've described, I know that maybe Terry could share with us his very successful grant application. Before he does so, I just wanted to add one other thing. The Western Canada has 2 board members, McKenna Karan and myself, represent Western Canada on the board. We have a small amount of discretionary funds that are available if there's something special happening that doesn't quite meet the grant conditions that you read about in the website. Please contact one of us. Like I said, it's not a huge amount of money, but sometimes if we see a fit for something special that aligns with Kiwanis values, we can use some of these discretionary funds. But I think if we're looking for an exemplar, in our midst, we have Terry, whose grant application was so spectacular, he got even more than he asked for. And he hit all the elements. He knocked it out of the park. There was on-hands Kiwanis involvement. There was strong community partnerships and definitely credible impact. So, like I said, I do not have a written one for you, but if Terry would be so good as to speak,
I do have a completed application.
Oh,
wonderful.
And verbiage on the as it was completed. And let me just now, can you share the screen with me?
You can share screen. You should be able to.
Okay.
I quit sharing so that you could.
Okay. Just got to find.
While Terry's finding that, is there anyone who had a question? Beth is reminding people they could use their hands, right? Beth, did you have a question?
Well, there was a question about funding for food security from
Mhm.
somebody.
Oh, Vimal, I did see that, Beth, and yeah, the outreach grant would be the best fit for that.
Oh,
Okay.
and that's Terry's project relates to food insecurity there. And everybody knows about the scholarships and things like that.
Yes.
I think they do
Oh,
know about those. It's these new grants.
while Terry's looking, I'll throw in another thing. You'll see those of you that get the newsletter a format for the a yearbook format for the scholarship write-outs. If you want your recipients featured in our newsletter, it makes editors' life much easier if you uh, provide us with your information with the template that will be circulated again in the newsletter, which is like a yearbook, spaces for 3 pictures, and then just the recipient's name, what their field of study is, and their hometown. So please look for that, and if you're having a scholarship event, that's a great way to celebrate. But like I said, when we get all sorts of different formats in, it takes the editor a long time to sort through it all, and also it starts to look like a little bit of a jumble when we have some group pictures, some pictures with the entire club, and then some recipient headshots. So please, if you could use the reporting format that's sent out with the newsletter for your scholarships this year, that would be greatly appreciated.
Is
Okay.
that just in the letter that when announced? I'm just trying to think if
You know,
I've ever seen that
we're
before.
going to review the communication for that this year.
Okay.
It did go out in the newsletter, I believe, last year, Joanne.
In the newsletter or in the letter that you receive when you are
No, but
accepted into this.
that's an improvement on our end. That I mean, I would be hoping that we would see, but it went out in the newsletter.
Okay.
Okay, can you see this application?
We can.
Oh, well, unfortunately, it's in 2 pages, and I'll have to go search for the other page in a minute. But this is a completed outreach grant for a project, the Summit Outreach. This was for their Christmas hamper and dinner program. So we requested $1,500 for the and just put into $1,500. Kiwanis Club of Saskatoon, Cliff Hansen applied for it, the street outreach grant, and I signed it. And that's virtually the completion of the grant, with the exception of the description of the project. And what I'll do is, while I look for that, I will I'll tell you about the project. And the project was a Christmas hamper program in the inner city in Saskatoon. And this is the complete this is included all the pictures and everything. Was the report that we sent back, or based on this. But what we did is they had an outreach program which included Christmas hampers for needy families. And if you look at Christmas hamper project, they got enough food probably to last them for all through Christmas. The large families, and they had to actually apply for these grants. You couldn't just walk in and get one. And in Saskatoon, the Salvation Army administers all the grant programs. And by what that means is that you give your list of recipients to the Salvation Army, and they tell you if anybody's getting 2 hampers. So they make sure that the hampers are spread out well around the city and around to the needy families. So a small family got a ham, a big family got a turkey. There was 150 hampers given out on the 13th of December. And tied to that program was a sandwich day, whereas the homeless people, because they knew that the hamper thing was going on, showed up at the front door, and they were turned away from the front door and down the side to a side door where any homeless person was given 2 sandwiches, 2 bottles of water, 2 soft drinks, a couple of pieces of fruit, and some bags of chips or chocolate bars. And that was over and above the 150 hampers. And then at supper, there was for the youth that had been involved in the Summit program as recipients of Summit's administration. We put on a supper for them, and there was well, they actually gave out 200 hampers, 100 lunches. 42 youth attended the evening meal and party. There was 18 Summit board members, 8 Summit youth, 19 Kiwanis members, and friends of Kiwanis showed up to build the hampers and help pass them out. There was also 300 toys, socks and teddy bears, gloves, and coats, and ski pants were given out as they were available. If you scroll down to the picture, we walked into this room at 9 o'clock in the morning. There was nothing in it, absolutely nothing. We hauled all the food and all of the stuff in the first couple hours, and then started building the hampers. It was everybody was working and got it all together, and it was all done. And the Christmas party for the youth. Now, those of you that aren't familiar with the Summit Outreach Program, Summit Outreach Program is a program for youth counseling and youth services. It deals with addiction counseling, outreaches, cultural and social recreational activities, fostering community and well-being amongst youth. And in all of the counselors from the Summit Outreach Program are volunteers. They're all either trained volunteers or life experience volunteers, and they deal the issue in Saskatoon, and I'm not sure it's much different anywhere else, is that if you get referred to a counseling system due to an addiction or a mental health issue, or you need an outreach service, you will get to see somebody within 6 months. The Summit Outreach Program guarantees that you will get to see a counselor or a service worker within 72 hours, so that they view it, and the program is designed because they view it as very critical that these youth from 15 to 25 get looked after and serviced and into the system right away. 6 months. 6 months if you're considered critical, 9 months if you're not considered critical. Now, the example they use is if a person tries to commit suicide, they're critical. If they're just cutting themselves as one of those habits, it's not considered critical, and it's probably run out till 9 months before you see a counselor. So that if you, but it was an event. This event, we applied for $1,500. The foundation gave us $3,000, and very grateful for it, because it added stuff like some of the clothes and toys and extra food and to the hampers. One of the suppliers do this. The workers were kind of grumbling because the 20-pound bags of potatoes that every family got were hard to handle, and they were big. And what happened was the supplier committed to 10-pound bags, but he ran out of them. So he just replaced them with 20-pound bags. So it was
Terry, could I just, would you be able to go back to the first page, the application page?
Yeah, maybe. Uh,
Might have to just X that one.
there we go.
There you go.
Yeah,
Or-
no, just,
So
correct
that
me.
blank space in there is where the verbiage and the rest would go in.
Yeah,
So I
Okay,
think
what-
one of the things that I was wondering, because I've been working with my club to saying we need to, we could really add to, a need that we see. I think in the application form, it was the idea of, for this particular grant, it was that you had to provide, what did they call it? Like a community impact survey or something like that. And so I was thinking about, it says, yes, an application must include a community needs assessment and validation of this underserved, unmet youth need in the community. So that to me was sort of had this signal of, oh, that's a pretty lengthy thing to do a community needs assessment. But what you're basically saying is that it's just sort of identifying how you know that this is a need in the community.
in a perfect world, all the clubs would be using those wonderful ACE tools. Would
But that's a
have
very
have
complicated document, Ken, that needs assessment.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, but clubs often do community assessments as
Yeah.
part of their own planning, and
Right.
so again, we would look at an application such as this, and if a need was described, would we have yeah, an intense community needs assessment with people going out and doing focus groups and all of that sort of work is not what we would expect. But what we expect is a plausible uh, plan that's based on an identified community need that makes sense. And the if there's a need to get further clarification, that the grants committee could take a look into that. So the,
Okay.
I know the kind of needs assessments that you're talking at. Again, that goes back to what might be expected if you're applying to a government ministry. But we at the foundation have an understanding that as part of the regular club planning process, clubs do have an understanding of what their community needs are, and their grant application would be focused on working to improve the lot of children in their community based on their knowledge and understanding.
Can the club apply for more than one grant?
Yes.
For 2 projects or 3 projects?
They can, but again, the way that would be looked at when the grants are reviewed, probably there is nothing to saying that you can't, and you might be successful if depending on the number of other grants that you were competing against. But you wouldn't be ineligible for applying, Terry. You could.
I think Vimal had a question or a comment. He put a message in the chat. Terry, I stopped sharing the screen for you.
Can't hear you, Terry.
Vimal, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead.
So I just want to say thank you very much, Kiwanis Society and Oil City. And actually, I think most of you guys know, right? I run food hamper program every Saturday. So we provide 50 families food every Saturday. And if we are not doing that, we provide 200 meals and plus other stuff like clothing to the homeless people. So with the help of Kiwanis families, we did very successful Christmas food hamper program. And luckily we did serve the same family as the Saskatoon. Terry said, right, 151 families we served that day. And the almost cost for one family, it was $74, $74.75, 57 cents per family. So that's cost us 11,260.07 cents. And we provide everything there to cereal, clothes, toys for kids, cake for kids, because I want to kids celebrate. So there was toy and cake for every families.
So did
And
you get grant money for that
no, I
project?
didn't get grant money because we were not aware of that, and somehow we skip it. But next, so I
Well,
want to apply.
Well, you have
Demo.
until May 31st, Vimo, to fill out an application.
yeah.
Yeah, so we did support from Kiwanis for this event, Kiwanis South Edmonton and Kiwanis Oil City.
Right.
So and next event coming, I just want to take only 1 minute. And next event coming, we do Valentine event for the homeless people, and it's only focused on the homeless people. We try to supply them as much as stuff we can. I just brought 200 gloves, so we're gonna focus on 200 family individuals. So I'm thinking over 100 women and 100 men. So we are getting stuff from them. I already brought underwears, socks, hats, and gloves. And then we're gonna have plus ready to eat meal plus some snacks so they can use it later. And then in April we're gonna have other event, which is our annual, because we are completing 6 years in this year, and that event gonna be bigger like Christmas, but we're gonna have some cultural program, and some of Kiwanis they already attend, they come and help me. So this is just little bit story. So that's why I need more help with more money, because food security is very big issue. People they can't afford. Even when we go in the market, we see right almost the peanut butter in 2 years the price is double. Same thing with the cereal. The companies are getting very tricky. They keep the box size same, but the material is less on that.
Well, please apply for an outreach grant. Terry,
Yeah,
thank you,
so thank
Vimo.
you very much for your time. So I just want to share my story, right? And I just want to say thank you, Kiwanis, me helping me this all year. And that's it. Thank you very much. And we will apply for that. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that great work. Terry, I'm just want to make sure. So I was thinking about your question. My understanding is that you could apply for multiple grants, but one club would apply for an outreach grant. You wouldn't apply for 2 outreach grants, but you could apply for an environmental health grant or the youth program grant. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So Ken, back to his question, we do a backpack program. It started really small, and the need became like, we started with, okay, we got these backpacks as part of our rescue of lost and found from a ski resort, and there were backpacks, and so we made sure and cleaned them up and filled them with school supplies that we bought, offered them in our last bike giveaway, and they went like hotcakes. We thought, oh, they really need these, right? All these agencies that work with the youth. So then we decided, can we expand this? Okay, well, let's buy some backpacks. Let's buy more school supplies. And then we reached out to one of our partners, CIBC Wood Gun Day. They did a big school supply blitz in their office, and we made 89 backpacks. And we were really pleased with that. And they went like nothing, right? Then the next year we added to that, and like people when they're coming to pick up a bike, well, we have some backpacks. Put in your request of what your agency could use, and we had requests for well over 200 backpacks, right? And we managed to do 139. So that's why I'm saying we had some presenters last night with especially newcomer families. They had a backpack event or something last fall, And there's so many groups doing backpacks. I can't figure out, but the need is just so huge. And they said we prepared with, sponsors of various things, 300 backpacks. They had over 500 show up. So is that kind of description? Would that
Yeah.
be kind of here's what's happened and the need, like we have requests for this many and we want to with $3,000, we could add a lot more backpacks.
Yeah. No, just tell that story.
Okay. So that would be community needs assessment. Here's
Yeah.
the need that agencies have identified for us. Okay.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. Using information that's provided by
Okay.
other community partners. That makes sense.
So,
Okay.
so those are both though matching grants, is
Yes.
that
Yeah.
correct? So you
Yes,
have to
correct.
spend 3,000, show the receipts, and then you can then apply for up to 3,000. Is that
Right.
correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So the only one that isn't kind of a match is that youth program one, where if you've donated $1,000, you can get a $500 top up.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any other questions? Trying to keep us to an hour.
Well, this has been fun.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just put on my Kiwanis District Secretary hat too. And we have a Kiwanis Foundation of Canada. Well, we also have a Kiwanis Children's Fund. And my understanding is that from our trustee last year, from Joe Schwartz, she was saying, not a lot of clubs from outside North America or outside the US apply for those grants. And we would really like to see at KI more international clubs apply. And so they do have two programs, and one is a MicroGrant program. You can get between $250 to $1,000, and it's meant for small clubs, and it's a simpler application process. Anyway, so there's information about that, and I can share that. I send out notes or something if people want that. I can send out the link to that because finding things on the Kiwanis website sometimes is problematic, but there is an actual little box that says, grants. And very short, if you put in an application by the first of the month, you'll have a decision by the middle of that same month that we're going to give you a grant. The focus is on health and nutrition, education and literacy. So I'm thinking, why don't we hit them up with some money for our backpacks too, or something else, or youth leadership development. So those are their three things that they're looking at, and there is an application form, but it's a simpler one and it has a faster distribution of funds. So,
Can I ask a wicked question, Joanne?
yep,
Maybe I shouldn't at how many minutes to 9 and we want
it's
to.
all right.
Are we off the naughty list and are we eligible to apply for KI?
We're always eligible to apply. Clubs aren't on a naughty list at all.
Oh, clubs. Okay. So
This is clubs
it's
that
not
apply.
a district application.
No, we're sort of on the naughty but nice list.
Okay.
I don't know if Tracy's wants to comment, but I don't know if she's
I
been.
just want to say that those really were not nasty ground letters. They were letters of encouragement. And that was right from Paul Polizano's mouth. We were just being encouraged, not to feel bad.
Ken, they're impressed with our numbers.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes.
And that
they're
we
watching.
started a new club and another new club.
Yep.
And anyways, so, and then of course I don't know if any clubs who've applied for the MicroGrants, I haven't heard, but I know that the Airdrie Foothills Club applied for the big grant. They got $5,000 US to support their Books for Babies program. And so they went for, that one is a little bit more involved, but all you have to be is a member, you have to be a club in good standing. So your club can't be owing money to KI, but these grants are available for projects, and they look favorably on the same things Ken the foundation does,
Great.
right? Partnerships, addressing these needs, and involvement of, club members. So I thought I would just remind people that that's worth that's worth having a look at.
And I don't even think we had 15 members, to be honest. So,
Vanessa, you didn't have to have 15 members. There's nothing, you just had to be
okay. Well, I
a
know some of
member
them that I've been looking at says that as a recommendation lately, so that's why I
Oh,
wasn't sure.
all right.
So,
Well, the microgrants are 35 members or fewer, so they're wanting them to go to smaller clubs, right, as well, who don't necessarily maybe have the fundraising powerhouse, but I didn't realize that you popped in there, Vanessa. It was the big grant, like you got the 5,000, wasn't it? Am
I
I
believe so.
correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Sorry, I thought it started at 7, so that's why we just
maybe,
came in.
oh, well, it started at 7 Central Time, so if you moved to
Oh, that's what I
Saskatchewan,
missed. I've been like sitting here playing games, waiting for the time.
well, I've taped it. Anyways, were there any questions for Ken? So Ken, maybe there will be a deluge of
I
applications.
hope so. I want to see it.
I
Yeah,
think
no, we would love to see more applications for
didn't
outreach
your own
and environment.
I haven't heard too many about the environmental things, but I know your own club applied for that for your pollinator garden, right? For your K kids, right? Vimo, did you have a question?
Yeah. So we do tree plantation every year with the city of Edmonton. They have program something with the roots. I forgot the name of that program. Roots for Tree. So we work every year with them, and I think we take 3 or 4 days. But last year, because I have some family problems, I have to go twice India. We did only 1 day, which was more than 400 trees we planted. So just one question, I am a little bit curious. So all the supplies provided by city, we provide that volunteer, but we provide volunteer lunch and other facility. So can we apply for that environment grant for that? Because we do
I think
spend money on
you're doing a greening just to see if I understand correctly. It sounds like a greening program with the city. Are youth involved and other community partners involved? You're working on a public space that youth would use, something like that, Vivo?
So city of Edmonton, they provide us space. They tell us where we need to be there and what we are going to plant that day. And we provide them volunteer and other support.
Mm.
And it's land of it's on the city land.
Well, and my question, Vimal, too, it's a Kiwanis club that applies for these grants, so not outside organizations. So it would have to be something that you would do in partnership with, say, South Edmonton, your home club. They have a key club.
If you were developing public space, I would like maybe with an SLP, and it's a place that would be improved for community use and children. That would fit.
Mhm.
But again, like just thinking of the elements. What's the impact on children or youth? What community partners, and is there hands-on Kiwanis involvement? I think
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, and I also am not sure about because these are matching grants, I'm not sure about the money. You're providing the meal and the money for the meal, but you don't have like a large outlay of cash there.
So you would match what you would be able to show receipts for.
Okay, yeah, sure. I was just trying to explore more ideas to work with the Kiwanis and grow more little bit, right?
Danalyn?
Ken, regarding the matching scholarship program, is there an application that we fill out, or is it just a matter of going through the criteria and writing up an email and submitting it to the foundation?
Yeah, just doing the making a submission by email to the foundation.
Okay, thanks.
Annalyn, I know with my own club, when we send our letter with our check for our donation, we indicate as part of that that we would like to be considered for matching scholarship. And so we just do it at one fell swoop. But,
Oh, okay.
and that seems to work, but maybe you've already sent in a donation. And
I have to follow up with our treasurer. He was supposed to be sending it out
sending it in.
to
Yeah,
us.
no, and good point, Joanne. That's what our club does as well.
Yeah, same, just to simplify it, and then the donation goes along with the request. And I think we asked to be considered for Mel Osborne for Key Clubbers, but I don't think we realized that's a matching grant, so we have to do a little bit more work with gaming. So anyways, any other questions?
No,
Well,
thank you very
so
much for
much,
the
Ken.
invitation.
Thank you. And I hope there will be that deluge, and that other clubs, the recording will be made available. Anybody who was on the call here,
Yeah,
I'll sort of send out a bit of a summary because the AI will do something for me. And, with a sort of a written summary, along with maybe some links to that quick reference card, and to some things on the KI site if you're interested in applying for microgrants or for their grants, the other bigger grants.
Yeah, and remember, in between the two grants, there was about $25,000 left on the table. So let's be fully subscribed this year. Please flood us with applications. That would be great.
Yes. All right. And those of you who have signature projects, Sheila, you guys can't apply again. You can't use the cars again. Sorry. But I know some clubs, like Danilyn, your club sent in one last year. The district can only pick 2 to go forward. So send in the extravaganza again, right? And Ken, the pollinator garden project again, right? Because I would hate a club to think, oh, we didn't get picked last year. We won't get picked again. You still might not get picked again, but
Our feelings won't be hurt.
we want to get those to KI because when Tracy's in Manila, she wants to be at the signature project breakfast and to get to go up to the front and get the big check. Right?
Nice.
Anyway, so just a little reminder to take back to your clubs if they have a signature project. And next week is the deadline. Okay. Night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for coming, and thanks again, Ken, for taking time
night.
for us.
My pleasure. Bye.
Thank you.
Night.
Bye.
Supper time.